Welcome to the Mid-America Veterans Museum. Color guard, post the colors.
Color guard, attention. Right shoulder, arm. Add a half step, forward, march. Color guard, mark the time. And color guard, halt. Left face. This time we'll have the national anthem. Color guard, present, arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't the scheduled singer for tonight, so I'm going to invite you to sing with me, if you will, please. Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through us fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare and the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arm. About face. Prepare to post. Post. Hand salute. Order, arm. Left face. Half step, forward march. Color guard, column left. Color guard, halt. Dismiss.
If we could uncover. Almighty and all-loving Father, we gather here this evening to honor and celebrate the lives of these heroes that are displayed on this wall. The men and women who paid the absolute sacrifice to protect and defend the freedoms we continue to enjoy. The freedom to assemble, to speak as necessary, to pray in public, to you, and so on. Many of us here gave for that cause, while they gave their all. And now may the gain they enjoy with you in your loving arms, O Lord. Help us overcome the loss we endure. We ask you to bless those who provided this memorial, the volunteers at this campus who invested their time, so it will be a success, to those who donated, and all here present, so these heroes will never be forgotten. We pray that you keep us free and one nation under you and your Son. Amen.
Please be seated. Again, welcome to the Mid-America Veterans Museum. It's our privilege to host the Fallen Heroes Dog Tag Memorial Wall. We are grateful to the organization responsible for the memorial, Veterans and Athletes United, for bringing this tribute to the museum for everyone to see. In honor of this occasion, the City of O'Fallon has issued a proclamation declaring September 3rd through 7th Fallen Heroes Week. And I hope you notice when you come down Elm Street right here, the street's been renamed Heroes Way to honor our veterans for the duration of the event. We're actually working on keeping that sign up for much, much, much longer. So if you look at the wall there, the flag is formed of over 7,000 dog tags of those that have given their lives in the War on Terror. There's also 50 gold stars honoring all Gold Star families nationwide. Displayed in front of the flag is a battlefield cross sculpted from mahogany wood by veteran artist Alicia Dietz. Have you looked at the wall close? Have you looked at it closely? The wall last visited the museum 2 years ago, you may recall. In a ceremony much like this, we honored and remembered the 13 American heroes, victims of the Kabul airport suicide bomber attack. That was on August 26, 2021. Sadly, 7 additional soldiers have died in the last few months, and their names had to be added to the wall, with barely any media attention to the general public. We will honor them tonight with the reading of their names. The War on Terror is not over, and it seems very likely that in the future those blank tags at the end of the flag will be filled in. Tonight we honor and remember all those brave veterans who have given their lives in the War on Terror. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Our guest speaker tonight is a gentleman by the name of John Eason. John Eason is an Air Force veteran. John had plans to be a restaurateur until he lost his bakery during a little storm that hit the New Orleans area named Katrina. While he was in Mississippi, John turned to the military and spent 8 years with the Air Force, including 5 deployments overseas. John reflects, saying, "I truly love my time in the military and my brothers and sisters I met there." John is often asked whether it was bad overseas, and he responds saying there were horrible times, but he believed in finding the joy and beauty in all situations. John says one of the most beautiful places he's ever seen was in a snowstorm in a valley in Kabul, Afghanistan. One of John's biggest passion comes from his time in the military. John admits he suffers from PTSD and pours that into his music. John is a Nashville country western recording artist and writer. One of the first songs John released was called Gun From My Hands, which is all about that and the scars that you can't see. John hopes through his music he can bring more awareness to PTSD and help his brothers and sisters who suffer like him. John candidly admits music saved his life. Today, John is CEO of Songs for Heroes. Songs for Heroes is a new nonprofit designed to help our veterans. Please welcome John Eason.
It's pretty intimidating. You know, Jim called me up for this, and I didn't realize at the time it was going to be a little more. All right, right there. Okay. I didn't realize I'd have to talk to you guys for 20 minutes. I haven't talked to anybody for 20 minutes in a long time unless it was at a bar. So it's going to be a little bit different today. But yeah, my name is John Eason, and I do music for a living. And yeah, 8 years in the Air Force, 5 deployments to different places, Iraq, Afghanistan. And then in the end, music did save my life. I had I didn't know. I didn't know I had PTSD. I was always taught to be strong. The military teaches us to be strong, and it kind of strips away all the weakness in you, and you put up all these walls and things around your heart and around yourself. And I didn't realize until after a long time that I'd put up so many walls and so many things around my heart and myself that I didn't even recognize my own kids or my ex-wife. I didn't really know what love was, and I'd stripped all these emotions from myself and protected myself from hurt and things that might happen while I was deployed. And I'd become such a robot, and I had all these things that I was protecting myself from. And one night, the night that I realized I had a problem, I'd had too much to drink, and I was at a friend's house, and they said I just started ranting and raving about the people that I should have helped, and the things that I should have done, and the people that I should have taken their place. And that was when I knew that I needed to start getting help. I did not, though. I spent 4.5 years down in a dark place. I did enough drugs and alcohol, I thought, to kill myself eventually. And I just didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to keep fighting. And when I say drugs and alcohol, I mean drugs and alcohol. If there was a drug out there, I've done it. And I share that because I want people to know me as an authentic person and know where I'm coming from. I don't want to hide anything from you or anybody when I talk about PTSD and what it means. One night, I thought I'd done enough drugs to kill myself. I chased it with an entire jar of moonshine, and I woke up the next day. And I thought, how in the hell am I still here? I knew then, though, that it was time to start fighting back towards the light and start to find another place. And I am through a long journey, and it does include music that brought me back here and here to speak with you guys. A little segue sideways. When I pulled up today, I did not know that this wall was for global war on terrorism. I had not looked up a lot about it, and I'd honestly never heard of it until I got here. And Nina brought me out, and she told me what it was. And I was kind of blown away, because that's my war. And I think we all have one that we've been through. A lot of the names on that board I carried on airplanes. I worked in logistics for the Air Force, and yeah, I brought a lot of those people on the Angel flights and things to send them home. And when they came back to base, when they passed away, took them to mortuary affairs. And so it kind of blows me away, and I'm just hoping that I can do these guys justice for their sacrifice and things speaking with you today. It's such an honor, Jim. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and be here. But I guess because the thing to me that I say I know the most about from experiences is the PTSD and the things that I've been through and the things that I share with people. So I want to share some lyrics and some things, and I want to talk about some things today. So Jim mentioned a song, and it was the very first song that I released when I came to town, and it was to try and give people a window into PTSD, because I don't think a lot of times you can see what's going on. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Some of the strongest people in the world, they're suffering so bad you can't see. They're putting on that smile, and they're trying to make you laugh, and they're trying to make you think like they're okay. So I want to read you some lyrics here. It says, the whiskey and the pills can't drown the voices, and the nightmares keep breaking through. I'm afraid to close my eyes because the ghost I'm facing, but I see them when I'm awake too. You can't see the scars I'm hiding. I hope you never understand. The voices and the demons are calling. Please take this gun from my hands. No one knows, no one sees the battle that's still raging. A million brothers, they all fight alone. Sometimes late at night, surrendering sounds tempting. One last bullet could take me home. You can't see the scars I'm hiding, and I hope you never understand. The voices and the demons are calling. Please take this gun from my hands. So I sit in this dark room in the corner of my mind, putting up walls. Don't worry, I knew the price, and I agreed to pay it. So, like I said, that was a way to paint a picture for somebody that's never been there, that hasn't been in that dark place in their life. And it doesn't have to just be veterans. I wanted people to have a way to say somebody understands what I'm going through. And I remember going and talking to people in Nashville. They said, you can't put this song out. It's too sad. It's too this. It's too that. And I said, I have to put this song out. Because the people need to understand what these people are going through. And that they're not fighting alone. And they need to have somebody there helping them to go through this stuff. And so I put it out, and I had so many people reach out to me and tell me, man, you understand, man, I've been in that same place. And it made me know that music could heal not just me, but other people, and it could touch them in a way that just talking to people couldn't. And maybe that I needed to keep doing this and letting people know that there was somebody out there that understood. And so through, continued through this journey, still fighting some things, still fighting the demons and things like that. I remember one night, I'd had too much to drink again. Been a thing in my life sometimes, especially when I was in a bad place. And I have 2 little girls and a little boy. My little boy wasn't born then, but I got into one of those moods and I scared my daughters. And they were terrified of me. And that was somebody I didn't want them to ever see. It was a side of me that I didn't want them to see. And I knew the next day that I was never going to let them see that again. And I was going to keep fighting to get better. And I started pushing again to get better and keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting. And that eventually brought me to a song called Brother, I've Been There that we put out. And I was in a better place, and I wanted other people to know that no matter what kind of darkness you're in, no matter what kind of things you've been through, if you're still down there fighting, somebody understands, somebody knows what you're going through in this moment. And there's a hand reaching out to you, whether it be my hand or somebody else's. I want you to know that somebody out there knows, and that you don't have to do what you're thinking about doing. And this really started my fight to try and help people like myself who at one point wanted to hurt myself. I've had multiple attempts of suicide in my life, and I don't want anybody to have to go through that. Not to say that people won't, but if I can do something, if one song that I write or one word or sitting down having a coffee, a meal, a conversation with somebody can help them, then that's something that I believe is my purpose and all of our purposes. So we put Brother, I've Been There out there again, and I'll read you some of the lyrics here. Do you stalk the silence like a hound hunts his prey? Can't keep your mind from racing as it runs away? Do the demons chase you till you're just too tired to sleep? So you numb the world away, but you lose yourself. You're in too deep. Brother, I've been there. Down in the darkness, down where your heart gets tired. But brother, we ain't got to stay there. Start with the first step. Spark's gonna catch on fire. Brother, I've been there. Are you scared without your crutches? Scared you're gonna fall? Your troubles might be heavy, but you don't have to drag them all. Do you feel alone in the middle of a crowded room? All you want is to get away, so you lose yourself in that same dark tomb. Brother, I've been there. Down in the darkness, down where your heart gets tired. But brother, we ain't got to stay there. Start with the first step. Spark's gonna catch on fire. Brother, I've been there. I know you can't see it, and I know you can't feel it, but freedom is in your reach. Again, when we put that song out, I had so many people reach out and tell me how touched they were by it, and I knew then that it was time to start exploring this more and talking about my own things and not being scared to embrace this and the power that it might have. And a lot of people don't understand. I don't know if we have people out here tonight that are suffering with PTSD or been through things. In fact, I do know one or two. You join the military, and I know for me it might not be the same for you, but it robbed me of some of my childhood, some of my childish, my innocence. It strips you away and makes you something they want you to become. And you lose parts of yourself. And then you deploy and you do things you thought you'd never do. You see things that you thought you would never see. And it makes you different. It changes you. And then you have this darkness inside of you that you are scared of. You are fearful of, and you don't want to go out. You don't want to talk to people about it because you're afraid you'll be judged, or you're afraid people won't love you anymore. You're afraid people won't understand. Sometimes you can't talk because they don't understand. Maybe your wife, your children, your parents. They just don't know. They don't know the things that you've seen and the things that you've done. I have a good friend of mine who I'm going to read an excerpt from his song, and we talk about this all the time. And he tried to commit suicide in Iraq. He put a shotgun in his mouth over in Iraq, and he pulled the trigger. And something said, nope, it's not your time. You still deserve to be here. And he's still here with us. He's getting married this week, the 21st. And it is a blessing for him to still be here. And we talk about it all the time, of sharing things, and talked about what it's stripped away from us to do this stuff. It's, you know, these folks, they gave all to do stuff, but we have folks out there now that are still continuing to give pieces of themselves, fighting to try and survive and get help and things out there. So I want to read you a little bit of this song. It says, long before it broke me down, I'd run the streets of this town. That innocence has been erased. All you see is the frown I wear. Empty 1,000-mile stare was a time I wore a smile on my face. I can't run, I can't hide. I can't leave that feeling behind. Trust no one, back to the wall. Oh Lord, I can't turn it off. I see things I know aren't there, consumed by the burden that I bear. Start drinking myself to death. Danger close rings in my ears. Only voices I can hear can't calm my heart with my breath. One night laying in my bed, loaded gun pressed to my head. Asked him for a sign that he was there. A smile crept upon my face, felt God's warm embrace. Finally he answered my prayer. You know, talking about PTSD and some of this stuff, it's kind of dark, it's kind of tough, you know, when you sit down and try and tell somebody about the things that you've been through. But for the ones that are still here fighting, we're still here, you know, and it was so great when we sit down to write this song with him, because, and all the vets that we've written songs with, for Songs for Heroes, because you see light come back into their eyes when we're doing this, and we sit down and we get to listen to amazing stories of things that people have been through, and things that a lot of people could not handle. You know, it just blows me away every time, and it also in a way lightens my load, sharing this with people and getting to talk about their stuff, and knowing that we touch somebody's heart. And I compare it a lot of times when we work with people that it's like a steam engine. And I don't know if you've ever seen a steam engine before, but if you don't let some of the steam off eventually and it just continues building steam, it will explode. And for a lot of these guys that we sit down and do stuff with, and for myself, we start to let some of this off, and we start to feel a little lighter, and we start to put down some of that weight and things that we don't have to carry. When I first walked up here today and looked at that wall, I immediately went back into the mode of, I'm sorry I wasn't there with you. I'm sorry I'm not on this wall with you. And logically, it makes no sense, because a lot of these guys, I wasn't even in the same service with them. I wasn't there when some of this happened, but a part of my heart says I wanted to do more. I wanted to give more, and I wish I could have done more. And that's survivor's guilt. That's something that it doesn't make sense, but we have to keep fighting and reminding ourselves that, no, we're here, and we need to keep fighting for them. You know, they've given all so we can still be here, and it's my job to keep living and doing this and trying to help more people. And I always try to remind myself of that. But, you know, it's so crazy that even though, you know, driving up here today I was in a great mood, but seeing that as soon as I got here was the first thing that popped into my mind. But it also reminds me, you guys might know Two Shamrocks around here. If you don't, it's a great place, check it out. But Tim Bunfill, is a good friend of mine and has been very good to me when I come here and play music. And we wrote a song with him. And it was kind of one of those things. He was in a bad place for a long time, but he realized that he had a lot to live for and a lot to be here for. And when he came in to write a song, I had just a huge smile on my face, because I asked him, I said, Tim, what do you want to write about? He said, I want to write about one thing and one thing only. I was like, great, you know what you want to write about? He said, I want to write about my wife, because she saved my life. She fought for me for 10 years when I wanted to hurt myself. And I thought, a love story, I love it. So I'm going to read you a little piece from his. And he said, I wish it would have been wine and roses instead of a bottle in my old 45. Sometimes what's right in front of our noses is the only thing keeping us alive. You were my light when I was lost at sea. Wouldn't let me go, wouldn't let me be. You saw something that I couldn't see. While I fought with you, you were fighting for me. And I remember the day we wrote it, it blew me away. That was what he felt. He knew that she had done all that for her. And what a beautiful love story of somebody fighting for somebody to stay through all those things. Yeah, I love it. It's such a blessing to get to do this. There's another gentleman out here right now, Fred Hudgens. We did some writing with Fred, and we are thankful he's still here with us today. He had a scare recently, so Fred, good to see you. Fred had survivor's guilt for a long time, and he carried it around for a long time. We got the pleasure to sit down and write his song called I Apologize. And he wanted to tell the people that from his town that he was sorry that he wasn't there, even though he knew he couldn't be there, but he wanted them to know. And he was also carrying around what I know a lot of Vietnam vets carry around, that when you came home, you didn't get the welcome you deserved. You got treated poorly, and your country didn't treat you the way you deserved. And all he wanted was an honest welcome home. And we put that in that song. And I tell all of you Vietnam vets here, welcome home. We appreciate you. Let's see here. I said I was just going to speak from the heart tonight. I don't think I've got a lot more to add to this, but what I will say, I said it earlier, that us that are still here, that we got to keep fighting for our brothers and sisters that are still here. We have to keep holding each other up. I got to speak to a gentleman back here in the back that does the Coffee for Vets. It's Coffee for Vets, right?
Coffee Talk,
Or
yeah.
Coffee Talk, that's it, sorry. Bad memory. And you were telling me about what you guys have been doing for 14 years of the camaraderie and the things, and we got to tell each other that, hey man, I understand, it's okay, tell me about it. You don't have to go sit there by yourself. Especially, I know a lot of young vets, we thought we were big and bad and we didn't need the VFW, we didn't need anybody else, we could take care of it ourselves, and we masked it with booze and other things, and we do need it. And they need to understand that they need it, and they need help, and it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to break down. It's okay. And camaraderie, 100%, and letting some of that steam off is a good thing. And I'm going to leave with a little quote that I've changed up a little bit. One of my favorite movies is a movie called The Guardian. And there's a great quote in there from a bartender, and I just love it, and I've rewritten it a little bit. And it's for us that are still here, that have earned the right to still be here. It says, we got a few wrinkles here and there, but we've served under thousands of skies with sunny days. We look and we feel this way, because we fought, and we served, and we drank, and we smoked. We've lived, we've loved, danced, sang, sweated our way through a damn good life. If you ask me, getting older, that's something that's earned. And I hope we continue earning it. Thank you.
We
have a number of Gold Star family members in the audience. Would you stand up, please? I'd ask you to take this wreath we have here and actually present it in front of the wall if you would come up. Thank you. The other thing I want to mention over there, you can see underneath that tent, we have what we call memory wall cards. If you've got somebody you've lost, a family member, a loved one, or friend, think about going over there and writing us a little note about them. We're going to save those to our website for later on. Anthony?
2 years ago at this event, we honored the 13 fallen heroes who were killed by the suicide bomber on August 26, 2021 at Kabul airport. We hoped and prayed that it would not be necessary to add other names to the wall. Sadly, the names of 7 more soldiers were killed on the war of terror have been added to the wall. Tonight we honor and remember them. Joseph Brazino, Jr., U.S. Army, died of combat wounds October 14, 2019. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Sergeant First Class Jeremiah Johnson, U.S. Army, died October 4, 2017. Operation Freedom Sentinel. Special Operator 1 Christopher Chambers, U.S. Navy SEAL, died January 11, 2024. Operation Freedom Sentinel. Special Operator 2 Nathan Ingram, U.S. Navy SEAL, died January 11, 2024. Operation Freedom Sentinel. Specialist Brianna Moffett, U.S. Army, died January 28, 2024. Operation Freedom Sentinel. Sergeant William Rivers, U.S. Army, died January 28, 2024. Operation Freedom Sentinel. Specialist Kennedy Sanders, U.S. Army, died January 28, 2024. Operation Freedom Sentinel. They are forever in our hearts. We will never forget.
Thank you, Anthony. After the event closes here, we have another special event for the evening. The group assembling over there, they're going to actually read the names of all the fallen on the wall. There's roughly 7,118. They'll be starting about 8 o'clock, so it'll take about 9 hours. You're welcome to stay, but they'll start that about 8 o'clock.
We could uncover for the benediction. May the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Thank you. This concludes our ceremony tonight. The museum is going to be open for the rest of the evening. The museum will be open all 24 hours during this event, so you're welcome to join us in the museum or, stick around for the reading of names. God bless you all.
They grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age does not weary them, nor the years condemn. But in the morning, and when the sun sets, we will remember you.